We have you covered. All the top brands at the best prices in Texoma. Easy financing options and zero down. Stop by today or visit us online at martofdallas.com.
It's 6:30 straight ahead. A card skimmer discovered in a Walmart in Durant. Shoppers beware.
Plus, major updates about Sherman High School's musical Oklahoma, details about last night's meeting.
And a look at where the Texas school voucher bill is and how far it has to go.
Live from 12 Studios, this is News 12 AM.
Good morning, Texoma. It's 6:30. Thanks for joining us. I'm Annette Campbell.
And I'm Kylee Dedmon. Well, if you liked yesterday's weather, then you're in luck for today because it's basically round two of it. So a little chilly in the morning, but another beautiful day in the afternoon.
Yeah, deja vu. Let's go to meteorologist Brian Briggs, who joins us now from the Weather Center. Good morning, Brian.
Yeah, good morning, y'all. And it is going to be another beautiful day. A little bit of a chilly start, especially if you're in southern Oklahoma. That's where temperatures are in the 30s this morning. Everywhere else, though, kind of in the 40s and 50s. It really just kind of depends, but everybody is above freezing. So there's that. Marietta, you're at 34. You're a bit chilly, but north of the Red River into southern Oklahoma, yeah, 30s there and 40s elsewhere. So grab the layers. You're probably going to need them to start, but you're not going to need it for this afternoon. So just like yesterday, we're going to be back into the 70s. We're going to be seeing lots of sunshine. Really, this is going to be the case as we go through the next several days before things start to change as we head into this upcoming weekend. We'll be seeing a really beautiful conditions continue. So here's a live look at your southeastern tower cam, which is brought to you by Texoma Roofing and Construction. We'll get to that bus stop forecast here in just a little bit. But generally speaking, we don't expect changes until next week, which I know is Thanksgiving. And yeah, it could be a wet and cold one for many in the United States. We're going to get to that latest update here in just a little bit. Until then, back to you all at the desk.
Thanks, Brian. A man has been arrested in Fannin County after a pursuit that began as a shoplifting call in Tom Bean. Police say 61-year-old Carlos Bowden Jr. of Olney was stealing alcohol from the Tom Bean food store, and when officers tried to stop him, he took off. The chase ended near downtown Bonham after officers used spike strips.
Another pursuit, this one involving two prison escapees. Aaron Victory Jr. and Bradley Cherry were reported missing about 10 Sunday night from the Connor Correctional Facility in northeastern Oklahoma. The chase came to an end in McCurtain County, but Victory and Cherry were able to run away. A manhunt is underway in McCurtain County. Now, if you see these two, call 911. And Durant police are investigating after a man's body was found near the Walmart on Sunday. Sergeant Nick Spencer says the 51-year-old's body was found in a drainage ditch Sunday afternoon between the Walmart and a neighboring mobile home park. He says the man had wounds that may have been self-inflicted, but they are still investigating. If you have any information about this incident, contact Durant Police.
Some Walmart shoppers say they were victims of a card skimming incident in Durant. Durant police say EBT card holders were not specifically targeted, but they, along with other card users who swiped their card instead of using a chip or tap, were at risk. The skimmer was located last month and is now in police's evidence.
We have identified a few suspects or persons of interest, and we are investigating those at this time. We encourage everybody, if you feel that you've been a victim of the skimming, we urge them to come forward, come speak with us.
EBT card holders were notified this month that their card was canceled due to malicious activity. A Valley View couple is dead after a motorcycle crash Sunday night. The Cook County Sheriff's Office says Robbie and Heather Kemp were headed west on 922 east of Mountain Springs last night when a pickup truck pulled out in front of them and they collided. The couple leaves behind 2 children.
Drivers in Durant, the bridge on Indian Trails Road is closed for repairs, and South Highway 375 and Indian Nation Turnpike will be narrowed to 1 lane between mile marker 37 to 35 through next Monday.
In a politically unusual move, Congressman Pat Fallon is leaving Washington to run for his old seat in the Texas Senate. Fall on file to run in Texas, District 30. Now this comes after State Senator Drew Springer announced that he plans to retire and take over his father's financial business. We'll be following these stories in the days ahead.
Well, last night, the Sherman School Board met and heard the concerns of the community about a recent decision in the theater program. A few weeks ago, Sherman ISD announced a new rule where students could only play roles matching their birth gender for their upcoming musical, Oklahoma. It caused more than 20 students to lose roles, including a transgender male student.
Now, we first reported this story last Monday. The district retracted the rule on Friday and announced a more age-appropriate version of the musical would be performed next year. Many used the meeting to give their opinions on the board's decisions.
This is not the Bearcat way.
A full house inside Monday's Sherman ISD Board of Trustees meeting. And a large crowd outside the administration building.
Let them sing out! What are you confused about?
65 people wanted to be heard, all concerned about recent decisions about the district's theater program, including Philip Hightower, the father of a transgender male who lost his lead role.
This decision by the SISD Superintendent, Dr. Tyson Bennett, that he made unilaterally without the school board's input, has crushed all of these young kids.
Many expressed frustrations with the new version of Oklahoma the district chose. SISD said it was to be more age appropriate.
This new version is described on the script website of Concord Theatricals as being, quote, for pre-high school students with content edited for shorter attention spans, unquote.
Others added the new version is much shorter and removes many of the students' roles.
The students do not need a dumbed-down production.
One theater student sat in the audience listening to each person who addressed the board. The transgender male, Max Hightower, who has been at the center of the whole controversy.
Nobody stood up and opposed. Nobody did anything like hateful against me.
Thankful for the support and hopeful it will be enough to put him and his castmates out of the spotlight and back onto the Bearcat stage.
I'm hoping that things change for the better.
That was News 12's Aaron Pillay reporting. After hearing community comments, board members met in a closed meeting with their attorney to discuss the theater program. The board unanimously voted to reinstate the original version and cast of the production as it was before the gender rule was created.
Yeah, it also called for a special meeting this Friday at noon at the SISD building with legal present to continue the discussion. And Texas Governor Greg Abbott has been pushing for a school voucher bill for a long time now, but so far legislation that would allow parents to use tax dollars to fund private school costs has failed every time.
However, the House Education Committee recently passed the latest House bill, but it still has a long way to go. News 12's Kayla Holt explains.
The Texas House Education Committee approved the latest school voucher bill, moving it to the House floor, which is the farthest a bill approving vouchers has gotten so far. House Bill 1 would create an education savings account that would set aside $10,500 per student for private school expenses. The changes include an increase of funds for public school students as well. Schools would get about $500 more, allowing for $6,700 in funding per public school student. Public school teachers would also get a pay increase. That's the House bill. Now let's look at what Texas senators want to see. The Senate bill would create an education fund that would shell out $8,000 per private school student. It would also increase funds for public school students by $75. Now, out of that $75 would come teacher pay raises, security upgrades, and day-to-day expenses. Unlike the House bill, the Senate bill also includes a one-time pay bonus for teachers, either a $3,000 or $10,000 payment, depending on district size. Governor Greg Abbott has made it clear that he will keep calling special sessions until the legislature approves school vouchers. Reporting, Kayla Holt, News 12.
November 14th, Thanksgiving's right around the corner. Well, the weather didn't feel like it yesterday, but if you walk out the door right now, you might need to grab a sweater.
Yeah, a little bit of a chilly start with each morning going forward, but yeah, during the afternoons, it's not going to be really feeling much like mid-November at least, probably early or even kind of October-like. It seems like our months have been all out of place considering we were seeing freezing temperatures several times over last month. That's not the case now, even though we are a bit chilly. Most of us are in the 30s north of the Red River with some 40s a little bit further south. So no matter where you are, grab a layer or two because it is chilly. But yeah, we're going to be back in the 70s, believe it or not. Normally, we're supposed to be in the lower 60s. So we're about 10 degrees above average and record highs for this time of the year in the mid 80s. At least we're not dealing with that. But yeah, it will be still beautiful. Here's a live look at that sunrise here on our TMC Tower Cam, which is brought to you by Texoma Roofing and Construction. You can see a few higher clouds off towards the east there, but generally speaking, we are going to be seeing mostly sunny skies continue here as we go forward. A few showers kind of off towards the south and east near the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex. But yeah, all in all, it's going to be quiet. So here's a quick look at that bus stop forecast, which is brought to you by McDonald's. You can see that we have that chilly start. And then 70s. Really for all of us here. Most of us, again, showing the 60s here, but the high-res models have been undershooting our highs. So we've seen consistent highs in the 70s the last several days. Nothing changes today. All things being considered, yeah, should be seeing that. Now, I know a lot of the leaves are starting to fall off the trees here in Texoma. So if you need to maybe start getting ahead of the raking, because I know that we still have plenty of leaves left on the trees. Should have good conditions though for that over the next couple days. Light winds and kind of some damp ground conditions at least at first, and then we're dry. A little bit breezier though as we head towards the start of the weekend as things start to change. In addition to that, if you want to get a head start on your holiday lights, Christmas lights, things like that, this week we'll give you the green light up through about Saturday, and then things start to change into next week. Here's a look at your Lake Texoma stats. We also have really good conditions too if you want to spend some time out on Lake Texoma, and also look at your fishing game forecast for your Tuesday. Good luck if you're going to be heading out and about. So let's talk about next week because Thanksgiving kind of marks the unofficial start of the travel season here for the holidays, and there's a lot of green to go around no matter where you are really in the United States. It's looking like a wet one. An active pattern develops that keeps most of the United States unsettled. And now we're actually trending colder. You can see a lot of blue here, especially in the western 2/3 of the United States. So that means 50s maybe for highs here in Texoma for Turkey Day. And if you're heading further west on the West Coast or even Rockies, yeah, it may be even colder with some snow. So could see some showers, maybe a few thunderstorms returning for Sunday into Monday. And then after that, it gets a little bit questionable. But we are trending colder, we're trending wetter. And if you're traveling, definitely be sure to stay updated with the latest forecasts on that. In the meantime, enjoy the beautiful weather that we're experiencing.
Coming up next, a new opportunity for those over 24 who haven't graduated high school yet. Time now is 6:42. We'll be right back.
We'll rise and shine Texoma. The time now is 6:44 and taking a live look of our TMC Tower Cam. Definitely want to grab a jacket for the bus stop this morning, but once the kiddos come home from school, they're not going to need that jacket because temperatures are of course rising and warming back up again. But for the morning hours, definitely need something to help keep you warm. Maybe a coffee, a hot chocolate, anything to help keep the kiddos warm. But again, later this afternoon, it's going to be beautiful. So enjoy those outdoor activities. Brian has our full forecast coming up in just a little bit. But first, November is Family Month in Oklahoma, and the Tourism and Recreation Department is partnering with the governor's office to offer free admission to state parks. Free admission is on the weekends before and after Thanksgiving. Parking is also free. The parks will have family-friendly activities throughout the weekends. Lake Murray State Park is offering free admission this Saturday to Sunday and next weekend from Friday to Sunday, with lots of activities for every family to enjoy, from guided trail hikes to holiday crafts.
A new Oklahoma state law that took effect on November 1st will extend a moratorium on medical marijuana business licenses for 2 more years. In August of 2022, a new bill paused the issuance of new marijuana licenses due to a severe backlog in the Oklahoma Medical Marijuana Authority's database. Now, the moratorium was scheduled to end next summer, but has been pushed to August of 2026. This pause does not affect the state's medical marijuana patients or other license holders. Businesses that have a license will be able to renew them during this pause and can also sell or transfer their license to another party. The state of Oklahoma has launched a new app in hopes of keeping everyone, especially school children, safe.
Yeah, News 12's Caroline Cluis-Fletcher shows us how it works.
Choctaw had just scored. We were trying to rally the troops, kind of get us focused. And next thing you know, you hear some banging.
Dell City Athletic Director Robert Jones is all too familiar with school shootings. At a basketball game in February, then a football game in August. Then last month, a mom called the school concerned about her son. Police found a gun in his backpack. Oklahoma Commissioner of Public Safety Tim Tipton says threats like this are why the state's created the Protect OK app, where you can submit tips about suspicious people, packages, or threats all through your phone.
Any type of threat anywhere in the state of Oklahoma, those concerns, those potential threats can be forwarded directly to state law enforcement.
The fact that his mom called and warned us, we probably saved some kids' lives.
Sarah Stewart with the Oklahoma DPS says her kids were both at the Oklahoma State Fair shooting this fall.
That was a terrible feeling, calling her and hearing her crying, and that she had to experience that. It was a very helpless feeling for me.
You can use the app to let emergency contacts know you're safe, get news about what's going on, or start a friend walk, where a friend can watch your location over GPS and call 911 for you if needed.
This is just we feel going to be a really good resource that that any citizen can report any of those suspicious activities, and then that'll create a system that we can then, in a timely manner, figure out whose jurisdiction this is, who needs to look into it.
Tipton says the goal of this app is prevention, law enforcement investigating threats, not responding to tragedy. Reporting, Caroline Cluis-Fletcher, News 12.
You're watching News 12 AM with Annette Campbell, Kylee Dedmon, and from the Weather Authority, here's meteorologist Brian Briggs, Texoma's most watched news.
Good Tuesday morning, Texoma. Hopefully your day is off to a wonderful start so far. Weather-wise, here we are again talking about chilly temperatures, especially for southern Oklahoma. We have most of us in the 30s there, and go a little bit further south and east, a little bit more mild, with low to mid to even upper 40s. But this is a near repeat of what we saw yesterday, and everybody is above freezing. So chilly to start, yes, but if you recall yesterday, it got so beautiful during the afternoon, and that is where we are heading once again today. So officially saw a high of 72. It is still above 10 degrees above average for this time of the year, but at least we're not talking about record highs, and we don't have any threat of breaking that. But don't worry, if you want it to turn a little bit cooler, it eventually will. But it is a beautiful start to our Tuesday morning here on our TMC Tower Cam, which is brought to you by Texoma Roofing and Construction. And lots of clear skies, maybe a few clouds off towards the east, but that is because last little bit of moisture from a disturbance passing by to our south. That's what brought us some clouds yesterday, and even a few showers have tried to work their way north near the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex, but there's just been so much dry air that the system pretty much fell apart, and it's not a threat to us any longer here. So day planner keeps us in the 60s. I do agree with the calm winds. We're not going to be seeing any really harsh breezes, but it should be getting into the 70s today. Same with high-risk futurecast. It's been consistently underdoing our highs. So add about probably 4 to 5 degrees each location, and that's going to be your high temperature through the day today. So if you need to take care of any sort of outdoor yard work, or if you just want to spend some time outdoors, or if you want to get ahead of raking up some of those leaves, yeah, it's going to be really nice to do so the next couple of days, considering you're not going to be fighting the wind, and the ground will continue to kind of dry out here. But then the winds start to pick up as we head into the weekend, ahead of another first of several cold fronts here. In addition, if you want to get a head start on some of those holiday lights, you got the green light to do that through about Saturday before things start to turn a little bit more wet as well. So in addition, great weather for the lake. Here's a look at your Lake Texoma stats, and also a look at your fish and game forecast for your Tuesday. Good luck heading out and about. So let's talk about next week, because it's a big one, and we got Thanksgiving right around the corner. A lot of folks going to start to travel here pretty soon, and within the next week to 2 weeks, most of the United States is expected to see wet conditions as an active pattern develops. So most of us dealing with above average rain chances and colder air settling in for much of the United States here. So that means chilly temperatures for us here in Texoma, maybe highs in the 50s, 60s. Further out west, if you're traveling that way, could mean winter weather. So holiday travel will likely be impacted. We're still working out the details, but we are expecting showers and storms as early as Sunday, and especially Monday. Make sure to stay updated with the latest, but enjoy the nice weather while we have it.
Thanks, Brian. Gale Adult High School program graduated its first student on Monday. It's Durant's first ever adult high school.
Yeah, News 12's Talia Munson was at the ceremony and explains how this came to be.
Wanted to finish school for so long.
Natalie Pinales was just a teenager when an unplanned pregnancy gave her no choice but to drop out of school.
I just had to keep going, but life was very dull.
She says she longed for the opportunity to fulfill her goal of graduating. That's when one wrong turn may have steered her in the right direction.
I ended up right over here by the library, so I took it as a sign.
Natalie, who's now 25 years old, always wanted to get her high school diploma. She searched for options and learned about the Gale Adult High School program here at Donald W. Reynolds Library.
I stuck with it and run with it.
The online school is intended for adults 24 years and older who never graduated. Students have 2 years to complete the program, but for Natalie, it took just 2 months.
Natalie was the first to do it from beginning to end, and we're just so proud of her.
She only needed 7 courses to graduate. Program Director Jamie Ellis was excited to bring the nationwide program to the library in Durant.
A step in the right direction, we want to offer that to our community members.
Ellis wrote a grant to get funding, which included 5 scholarships. One of them went to Natalie.
She was very excited, very, goal-oriented, and she's like, I want to get this done. And so I approved her.
Now Natalie, a mother of 2 young sons, is a high school graduate. Her dream deferred has finally come true. In Durant, Talia Munson, News 12.
This weather segment sponsored by Langford Roofing. Langford Roofing since 1937.
Welcome back. Thanks for joining us this morning. As of yesterday, Kiamichi Railroad is working on the railroad crossing on 49th Avenue in Durant. They will raise the roadbed and install a signal arm. As of now, there is just a railroad crossing sign, but no flashing lights. Now, Durant police say last week a vehicle and a train collided at the crossing. Thankfully, no one was injured, but the city says they do expect updates to be completed here in about 3 weeks. Safety comes first.
Good weather to be out there doing that too. It's not raining, it's not frigid cold either. So
at least the next few days, right, Brian?
Yeah, absolutely. Beautiful opportunities to get outside and maybe enjoy or take care of some work if you need to. 7-day forecast has highs in the 70s the next couple days under mostly sunny skies. Now we do see one front moving in for Friday. Not a lot of cold air with it, but a little bit of a cool down heading into the weekend. And then we turn unsettled as we start next week, and even colder too, as an active pattern looks to be on the way for Thanksgiving. I know Thanksgiving's just about a week away. A lot of folks going to start traveling maybe as early as this weekend. This is going to be the case for all of the United States. So travel is likely going to be impacted, especially if you're flying. It's going to be a messy year, unfortunately.
Yeah. But Thursday, if it's raining, just sitting on the couch eating
hot meals, hot turkey, hot ham.
Oh yeah.
Spoonfuls of mashed potatoes. It doesn't sound too bad.
Thanks for joining us.